All right, Betsy Kling,
Sure.
the pressure is on. Keep us smiling,
Yeah.
please. Can you do that?
I'm trying. I mean, the weather is just going to do it for me. I don't have to really say too much, and that's probably right up everybody's alley. Get her to shut up and just focus on what she's got to do, right? 58 was today's high, only 10 degrees below average, but again, we tied the record low. We hit freezing early this morning. Tomorrow morning, we are going to be back down in the basement, but tomorrow morning's record low is at 30 degrees. That was set in 1996. I don't think we're going to get there. We're going to be a few degrees warmer than that, but not a lot. Frosty start for many areas tomorrow. Under sunny skies, the frost is going to evaporate very quickly, and then we'll have high clouds that stream in as we head through the afternoon. Temperatures in the 50s. And we're probably going to have some 60s around too. There is a frost advisory out for much of northern Ohio, the exception being the inland state line area where we have a freeze warning in effect. That's a widespread area where we could have a killing freeze. Elsewhere, we have the frost advisories. Country folks, it'll be widespread. City areas, it's probably only going to be patchy. But there's where the temperatures stand right now. 38 chilly degrees in Ashtabula, still close to 50 in Mansfield. But the dew point is often a guide for meteorologists to see just how low the temperatures could go. Under perfect conditions, the temperatures can only cool to the dew point. Now, the dew point can be changing, but for the most part, this is about as low as we can get. So you can see our temperatures, the dew point temperatures are down in the 20s and 30s. The breezes help to kind of keep things moving, but as far as the overnight low temperatures, I think low 30s will be pretty much where we land, probably about 34 for greater Cleveland, a little cooler farther south. There is the big picture with the clouds streaming through, little bubbly clouds that we had today, fair weather clouds. But this is the picture that I showed earlier, and I think this really tells the tale, right? Because we have showers that stretch all the way from Minnesota, clear back off the west coast. This is our next storm system. This is the one that's going to bring us several days of rain. And another little trick that you can do sometimes is if you take a ruler and you kind of draw this line and you get to about 1,800 miles or so. If that storm system is moving at about 20 miles an hour, which is pretty much the average, that's going to take about 90 hours to get through. 90 hours just so happens to line up beautifully with about 4-ish days in our forecast of scattered rain and thunder. So your National Designer hour-by-hour forecast, let's take care of the first 24 here, 24 hours, which look fantastic. Clear skies, temperatures upper 30s to right around 40, light winds in the morning. If you're going to get out and do any jogging, walking, whatever, it's going to be chilly, but quickly warming up. The sun feels so fantastic this time of the year. We'll be in the 50s by midday, and you can see right along the lakeshore will be a little bit cooler, but farther south, the 60s are popping, and that is not where the forecast ends, friends, because then we really hit the gas and we start to get into a nice patch of weather. Universal Windows direct forecast goes from 60 or so tomorrow to 74 with scattered rain and rumbles on Thursday. We'll continue with those rain and rumble chances. This is, 1,800 miles of rain coming through 4 days here. But then watch next week. Are you ready? Yes. Sun, 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 mostly sunny, 80s. We got it. It's coming. Russ?
Betsy, you delivered. Thank you very much.